Hello again, and welcome to another revolting review. My name is Ron, and today's movie will be the 2016 horror movie Fortune Cookie. Now, I decided to do this movie because Final Destination Bloodlines just came out in theaters, and it did really well. It made like $280 million on a $50 million budget. So I'm pretty sure they'll do a sequel. But until then, this movie is like a Final Destination light type movie. So if you need something to tide you over until the next Final Destination movie, check this movie out. Now, this movie is 129 minutes long. It's currently on Tubi. It's directed by Rob Palatina. It stars Dina Meyer from Starship Troopers. It stars James Hong, who was just in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Ryan Merriman, who was ironically in Final Destination 3. Uh, the synopsis, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. All right. It starts in like ancient China, where the master of this house is drunk on Chinese New Year and he's pissed off for some reason. We don't really know why. Um, but his servants think that he might be bringing bad luck upon them. So on Chinese New Year by saying certain things. And so they decide to go put him to bed. And one of the other servants stays down in the main room to clean up. There's a bunch of envelopes on the floor. So this servant picks up these envelopes. He opens them, and inside is the black sheets of paper, and his says in Chinese, candles. He goes about his business, continues to clean up, and you guessed it, the candles, they blow over, catch the drapes on fire, and burn down the house in like 3 fucking seconds. So we move on to then present day, where these two people are trying to open a Chinese restaurant, and they don't have all the money that they need, all the backing to open it yet. So they need to ask Ryan Merriman, who's a rich guy in this movie. And so they decide to get all these people together and go to a competing Chinese restaurant to eat and talk business. Kind of a strange way to do it, but they do. So they go, they have dinner, and then at the end of dinner, they each get a fortune cookie. They open the fortune cookie, and they're black sheets of paper written in Chinese. Now there's 8 people at the table there, so they eventually translate what's on their fortune cookie. Um, the restaurant owner knows what's going on. You can kind of tell because he's freaked, but he doesn't say anything. And on these slips of paper from the fortune cookies, there's a drum, there's a stone tablet, there's a flute, fan, crutch, uh, lotus leaf, sword, and flowers. I hope that was everything. So they just go about their business. They're ready to leave, and then suddenly one of their friends chokes to death. Nobody seemed to have known the fucking Heimlich maneuver or how to clear an airway or anything. So she just keels over and dies. Dina Meyer shows up as the police detective, and it's pretty much a clear cut case of she just choked and died. There was no murder involved, but so in the meantime, after this dinner, Danny is one of the guys that's he's actually a cook of the restaurant that they want to open. He's the main chef, and he goes to his uncle, who is James Hong, and he asks his uncle what's going on with these fortunes. And James Hong tells him that these are the 8 immortals from like the 18 levels of hell, which I don't know if that's a real thing in Chinese lore, but that's what he tells him. And James Hong is apparently a Chinese witch, so he needs 8 personal items from each person so that he can stop this spell, or this curse, excuse me, from going forward and killing anybody else. Then we have a one of the girls dies, who she had flowers on hers, and she dies with a bee to the eyeball, which I'll get into that scene later on. Then the next girl to die is one that her roof caves in from, I guess, rot or mold, a leak or something, just caves in while she's taking a bath. It's a pretty simple kill. And the next one to go is Ryan Merriman. Now his fortune said crutch, and there's a scene where he gets beat by this homeless guy with a crutch, so he has to go into the hospital. When he wakes up, he's freaked out because he's in a hospital and there's crutches everywhere, and so he freaks out. He runs into the hallway, runs into a cart full of medicine, and falls over it. And then the next shot is glass all in his face, and I guess this glass penetrated his cheeks so much that he just fucking keeled over and died. So he's out. Meanwhile, Danny is still trying to go around and collect personal items for everybody, and so he is he's going around to the restaurant, back to the new restaurant, and he gets locked in a freezer, and then he gets killed with a fryer. And I thought Danny was like the main character of the movie. He was like my favorite character. They focus so much on him trying to get each one of these items that you think this guy's the main character. No, he dies with his face in a fryer. He's done. You know, and then these other two guys and this girl who are left. I think there's three people left, and they think that the Chinese restaurant owner that they went to, they think that he knows what's going on. So they go to talk to this Chinese restaurant owner, and this whole movie he's just been drinking tea or poison, but he's doing it on his own accord. So you don't know if he's trying to kill himself or if he's trying to stay alive. But anyway, they go to this restaurant and the Chinese restaurant owner is dead. They just killed him off camera, and his sons are there. So these guys get into this fight. These two guys that go to this restaurant get into this fight with these two brothers, and they're fighting. And one of the guys gets ran through with a sword because his fortune said sword. Danny's with the fryer. I think his was fan. So again, I'm not ruining these kills for you. You can see what each one of their fortune is and then try to guess how they die. But it's not how you think it goes, which is pretty cool. So they fight these guys. One of the guys gets ran through with a sword. He's dead. So this guy and this girl are left. Well, this girl, after the fight at the restaurant, she goes and runs around some kind of like construction site, and then she gets killed with a wrecking ball to the head. She's dead. And then the last dude, he dies by getting blown up in in the restaurant that everything started at. So everyone's pretty much dead at the end of the movie, and that's the whole movie. It just the things I liked about this movie was it was shot well. So it still seems like a cheesy, like low budget movie, which I think maybe they spent all their budget on the actors in this movie, because you got some pretty cool B-list actors in this movie. So I liked how it was shot. The character of Danny was my favorite. Again, he dies unexpectedly. He dies in a cool way, but you're like, really? I thought the movie was going a certain way, and it turned on me, which is okay. I like that. It didn't do what I expected it to do. And you never know how someone will die in each scene. Just like Final Destination, it appears one thing is going to kill them, and it appears like something else is going to get them, and then you never really know until that final thing, and then they're dead. So that I did like that about this movie. I also liked James Hong in this movie. He's awesome. He's awesome in everything. He also throws in a reference for Big Trouble Little China, which is kind of funny. And then I love how the character of Danny, every time he rolls up to a spot, he rides a bike with a helmet, and he just throws his bike down and throws his helmet down. He never parks his fucking bike. He just throws it down every time. And it made me laugh. I still, thinking about it makes me laugh. Just riding up full speed. He throws his bike down, throws the helmet down, and then he'll go into the building. They do that shot every time he goes somewhere. It's great. Now, things I didn't like or did not like about this movie, it wasn't campy enough. I think they tried to take it too seriously. They took themselves too seriously with this movie. Like, I feel like if there was a little more campiness to it, and perhaps a little more in the special effects, would have been cool. But it wasn't like a funny type movie. This movie, you don't laugh much except for Danny, who's throwing his bike around. So I think this film takes itself too seriously. The story is all over the place. There's plot holes everywhere. The movie keeps going, but it's like it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not making any sense. So you're basically here now for the kills. That's really what this movie is all about. You can skip most of the banter, obviously, like any horror movie, because the script kind of blows, but it is what it is. And I didn't like that Ryan Merriman was underused in this movie. Basically anyone could have played his part. You could have got a day player to play his part for a lot less money. And then I also didn't like that Dina Meyer was underutilized. And they made her character sketchy and weird. I don't know if she was told to play it that way, or if she decided to play it that way, or if the script called for it, but her character was just kind of weird and sketchy. So those two, if they had more of a part in this movie, would have been really cool. But they chose to focus on the unknown actors in this movie, which is okay because we got Danny out of it. And the three best scenes I think in this movie are the bee scene, which I was getting to. So this girl, hers is flowers. Her fortune is flowers, and these bees come out of her roses. She just got some roses completely by accident, Final Destination style. She wasn't supposed to get them, but these flowers come to her, and they're roses, and these bees come out, and one of the bees is flying towards her while she's putting her contacts in. So she's ready to put her contact in, and the bee flies right onto her eye. She pushes her contact into the fucking bee, and then the bee somehow makes her eyeball explode out of her head, and her eyeball's just hanging there. It's like I said, it's one of the top three scenes in this movie, and just the eyeball hanging there, and then she keels over and dies. The other one is Danny being killed with the fryer. He's in this kitchen. He gets locked in this freezer, and you think he's going to die in the freezer, but of course he's able to get out of the freezer, and he dies with it. So this fan, he keeps showing a fan because that was his fortune, but the fan doesn't kill him, but it indirectly helps him get killed by the fryer, if that makes any sense. But it's a great scene. And then my third scene, I think, is the two guys that were fighting the two Chinese brothers at the restaurant. It was just a ridiculous fight scene that had not a lot of choreography to it, but it was just fun to watch, considering there is a lot of downtime in this movie, a lot of boring parts. This one kind of got you up, and then the guy got ran through with the sword. The guns come out in this fight. They're trying to do karate or kung fu on these white guys, and it's a good scene. Anyway, my final impression of this movie is it was decent. The story is all over the place, like I said. So many plot holes. You got so many questions that are left unanswered. And then the kills are okay. I wish they would have put a little more gore into them, a little more effects, but like the eyeball scene and the fryer scene, they were pretty cool. Even the girl getting hit in the head with the the wrecking ball, that it was simply, you could tell it was like a CGI thing, but it was just like a split second. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. And this one I'll watch again. I'll watch it again. I don't know when. I don't know if I'll get this one to put on my shelf, but it was decent. I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to do a Final Destination type thing, and it parts of it work. Like, again, when you're watching it, you really don't know how the people are going to get killed until it happens, just like Final Destination. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you liked it, I hope subscribe, leave a comment down below, leave a thumbs up or whatever. We appreciate you all, and thank you, and we'll see you next time.